The safer the roads, the heavier my pockets. Would you mind coming over here? At once, Master.
I'd fain sell you this home of mine, if you'd be willing to buy it. Only, don't ask me to lower the price any further. 'Tis as generous as I can make it. Much obliged, friend. I hope... Suppose I'd best be off. I've my own home to get to. I hope you'll be happy here, friend. Farewell.
Home at last!
Welcome home, young master.
Thank you, Diana. I am glad to be back. 'Twas a hard journey, but I found what I sought. A blue sunbright, the sigil of our house. I only hope Mother will be pleased.
A blue sunbright. I thought they were make-believe.
Oh no, they're quite real. Rather rare, though, and particularly to Melv. I'm surprised you've heard of them, to be frank.
Really? Well, there's a picture of one stuck to the inner cover of a book that was donated to the Gracious Hand. I asked Sir Kendrick about it. He told me the flower's name.
A picture, you say? How very odd.
I believe Miss Daphne is describing a bookplate. The book in question will have been a donation from this very house. Indeed, the mistress has been very generous in her support of the Gracious Hand over the years.
For true? Oh, I must tell her thank you.
I think I could arrange that. I'm certain my mistress would be delighted.
Yes. Well, as for me, I'm just pleased to be home safe and sound.
All this racket. What's going on? Good gracious, what is the meaning of this?
Oh, you must be the lady who's been supporting the Gracious Hand. Thank you ever so much for all you've done for us.
What precisely have you told this girl?
Not a word, mistress. I swear it.
Good. As for you, girl, you need not thank me. 'Tis the privilege of the nobility to help those who are less fortunate. Now, 'tis getting late. You had best be off. Do be sure to leave the house unseen. And fare you well, child. Know that where'er life may lead you, you may take pride in who you are. Come, Diana. I would speak with you alone. You have some...
What was that all about? Mother seemed awfully perturbed.
Yeah, certainly took a foul turn back there.
But 'tis a relief to be home safe and sound. I only hope the blue sunbright lifts Mother's spirits. What was that all about? Mother seemed awfully perturbed.
To think the lady here has been supporting the gracious hand for so long. Are all the nobles so kind? I can't wait to tell everybody at the gracious hand that I met the lady who gave us the book with the pretty flower.
What's going on?
Doesn't seem right, this.
I'm afraid not.
I took you for a kinder sort than that.
Seems you won't be swayed. A shame, that.
I've naught to say to the likes of you.
Someone do aught about this?
Good evening, sir. I trust you fared... all right on the roads, despite the hour. You know where to find me.
What to do about combat training?
Peruse at your...
Won't someone do aught about this?
That's such...
Have no fear, Master. I'll fare all right without you for a little while.
Don't look to me to solve this.
Would that all my days were so forced us awry.
Mayhap you've been misinformed, sir.
Waiting on the...
It is our duty to see this peace. Quite a predicament.
a shame.
There is much we ought to tend to. If we... Ah, yes. Regarding your pursuer from some days past. As we suspected, he was indeed an agent from Batal. When he learnt of your Majesty's escape, he began inquiring after your movements. 'Tis a glad thing we captured him before matters escalated. As to how he learned your Majesty's location with such ease, I intend to extract the answers from him anon. I shall be sure to inform you when I do. Pray, take this. 'Tis the least I can offer for your Majesty's assistance.
So the agent was of Batal after all. It is rather eerie that someone should be sent across the border to spy on you. We want for information. Mayhap we ought to speak with this Sir Roderick. Allow me to... guide you, Master. I know the person you're looking for. A guide is most welcome. Now we shan't lose our way.
More soil on
Just remember, I've somewhere to be.
Yes, sir. Have you procured what I asked? Splendid. You've my gratitude. Unfortunately, I can give you little more than that. Forgive me, but I must return to my rounds directly. Ah, but in place of a reward, mayhap I could give you a tour of the premises. Only if you've the time and inclination, of course. What say you? Would you care to accompany me? As servants of the Gracious Hand, we provide whatever treatment we can to those unfortunate who are stricken by maladies. Yet, at times, 'tis not enough. Perhaps you will recall the parents who were here when you first arrived. An unfortunate pair. They've suffered no few hardships in the slums, and now even their poor son Lubomir has fallen ill. By chance, he was examined by a roaming man claiming to be a doctor. Yet, the family had not the money for the medicine he required. So, he was put into our care.
I'll gather this. It might be of use.
Here he is. This young man is Lubomir. We've been administering the medicine recommended by the doctor who examined him, but he has yet to show any sign of recovery. To be perfectly honest, I doubt the soundness of that so-called doctor's judgment. After all, there is no shortage of ne'er-do-wells out there, willing to claim their medicine the only cure, that they might inflate its price. But I suppose I ought not say such things so openly. At any rate, I'd best continue on my rounds. Come. We've medicine to prepare. We've enough to make a fresh batch now, thanks to a kind donation.
Psst! You there! Help me! Listen, the sisters here are good to us, but I'm growing weaker day by day. It started with a slight fever, and now I can scarce lift myself up. See that empty bed? An old man was lying in it till just a few days past. He told me he was feeling better, that he'd be well enough to leave anon. And now he's... Mayhap I'm just imagining things. I hope that's the case. And yet... Gah... Something isn't right about this place. Pray, should you hear any queer rumors about the Gracious Hand, come tell me of them, won't you? I'd see to it myself, but I can hardly move.
Twas a fascinating tale those soldiers outside the palace were discussing.
Regarding the Queen...
Good day, sir.
By your leave, Arisen.
Medicine? Medicine! Now!
Oh, someone help me. Jahan? Bruno, where have you gone? Oh.
Understood. I will await you here.
This is a place of prayer. Do keep your...
Each of our patients deserves our full attention. Would that we had more hands to aid us. Each of our patients deserves our full attention. Would that we had more hands to aid us.
Chaos in the world begins with chaos of the mind.
Might you be a friend of Lubomir's? He's seen better days, hasn't he? There has been talk of sending him down to the basement, should his condition fail to improve. That is, the basement sick room, where our most critical patients convalesce under the Abbess's care. None of the other sisters are permitted entry, including myself. Tell Liz, she gives the patients a special medicine. I know not what kind. At times I hear strange cries and moans drift up from below. Which is to be expected. Those who come here suffer all manner of afflictions, you see. And yet, a part of me is afeared for them.
So, the worst of us are taken to the basement. Mayhap that's the source of the queer voices I hear at night. And none save the Abbess can enter? If the Gracious Hand has a secret, 'tis the Abbess who keeps it, I reckon. You've done this much for me. Would you be willing to go further? I must find out what goes on down there. Oh, you've my thanks. I just can't stomach the thought of lying here not knowing. Of course, all the better should your search come to naught. But if you do find aught amiss down in that basement, it must be the Abbess's doing. Should you find evidence fit to implicate her, will you help me see to it that justice is carried out? See, I've already reported my suspicions to the Sentinels, and we've arranged a signal. If you apprehend the Abbess, they'll know to come and arrest her. So I beg you, sir, find the evidence you need, if it exists to be found.
To get to the bottom of what is happening at the Gracious Hand, we shall have to acquire evidence of any misdeeds. Right you are.
I fear I've much to attend to.
A moment's prayer can do a world of good.
A moment's prayer can do a world of good.
How might we enter the basement sick room?
Aptly said. Chaos in the world begins with chaos of the mind.
Mayhap 'twould serve us well to track down the... former patients mentioned in these records of treatment.
You have my support.
Oh, someone help me.
Maybe I'll keep right here.
I don't tell half as many lies as my parents.
Time to behave. Things I could do
Shame on me for expecting all better.
Elena. Ah, yes. The Abbess of the Gracious Hand. A fine woman by all accounts. I was in her care once myself. But I must admit, I've always felt there's something off about her. You see, I was only a little under the weather when I entered her care. But then I started getting sicker and sicker till I was certain death would come for me. In the end, I survived, but methinks I was one of the lucky few. So many died down there. And once, I saw her, the Abbess, meeting with a strange man. She handed him a large parcel, all wrapped up. And he gave her something small in return. You'd think 'twere medicine, but I'd not have bought medicine from a man like that. He had the look of a scoundrel about him. They were whispering, but I did hear one of them say aught about keeping quiet. 'Tis well suspicious, eh? Where'd they meet? 'Twas in the square in the eastern part of the common quarter, and always a night, as I recall.
Lady Eleanor's a goodly person, a saint-like. Her earnest care saw me back to full health. I wavered between life and death for quite some time in that basement sick room, and she watched o'er me through it all, bless her. Can't say as I miss that basement, mind. 'Tis an eerie place, dark and shadowy, filled with the moaning of the sick. Suppose 'tis only to be expected, given the state of those assembled. I'm sure I was moaning too.
Then I shall remain by your side.
I don't know what to do.
sounds as tired as I am, seems like. Still not coming. Console it all.
Here.
Aye, this is plenty. Lord Phasus is like to be in your debt. Nicely done. Suppose it can't have been easy to procure this much so quickly.
You suppose wrong. I command their full faith. 'Tis simple for me to extract what I require.
Ha! You're a fearsome one. Here's hoping I ne'er end up in your care.
Enough. I gave you yours, now you give me mine. I'd not be seen here with you.
Ah, of course. Wouldn't want to hurt the Lady Saint's image in the eyes of the common folk, would we? Here's your special medicine.
Glad we understand each other. Till next time.
Aye, be seeing you.
Lord Phasus. 'Tis a name of great import. Of that I'm certain.
I'm not...
What are you doing? Unhand me this instant.
Many thanks for your assistance in this matter. Elena is being questioned as we speak. Though to be frank, sir, I cannot see the matter proceeding any further. What I've heard of the Abbess's testimony is little convincing, but I fear the evidence you've procured shan't be sufficient for a formal accusation.
Such quietude.
I've more time than I know how to spend.
Beg pardon, sir, but might I have a moment of your time? See, a friend of mine has an empty house, but no use for it. And I see you round the inn rather often. Understand me? Wouldn't come free, mind, but the price is a fair one, and you'd have a place to call your own. What say you? Well, you needn't decide this very much.
Quite the predicament.
Swapping stories is one of life's great naught but fry of legend.
Well met, our Lancelot.
Ah, Sir Arisen. I've been meaning to speak with you. Did you, perchance, pay a visit to the House of the Blue Sunbright? I see. After the rather strongly worded letter I received, I feared as much. 'Twas under unique circumstances, shall we say, that Daphne came to reside with us. You must understand, the House of the Blue Sunbright is our most generous benefactor, and their favor hinges upon our continued discretion. Thus, for for the sake of all who reside herein, I beg you to steer Daphne away from any further contact with that household. Though it pains me to perpetuate the girl's misfortune, it must be done if the gracious hand is to continue to function. Sir Arisen, I trust that you will do what is right by Daphne, and indeed by this establishment. Pray see to it that naught akin to the recent debacle be allowed to occur again.
I fear this trial is too much for one such as me. Oh, heavens above! What are we to do? 'Twas you, wasn't it? You took the abyss from us. How could you do this? The acts she committed were unforgivable. This I cannot deny. But what do you expect will befall the rest of us in her absence? Without the abyss, we cannot possibly attend to all our patients. Without her guidance, I... Forgive me. 'Twas an improper thing to say in light of the lives taken so unjustly. I will do what I can, but I fear I cannot attend to everyone here. I can make no sense of this.
Ah, I'll take that. We might find a use for it.
I'm rather lost. I fear I've much to attend to. I fear this trial is too much for one such as me. I fear this trial is too much for one such as me. I must confess, I'm rather lost.
Just yon.
A moment's prayer can do a world.
I will do what I can. I can make no sense of this.
Do you perchance remember me? You once knew me as maid to the young master, Sebastian. Well, I'm his maid no longer. Though I meant no harm, the mistress saw fit to turn me out. Tell no other soul of this. But the girl I had you fetch was none other than Sebastian's own twin sister, afeard of inviting conflict over their inheritance. Daphne's family branded her a cursed babe and sent her away. Yet the loss of her newborn child drove the mistress half mad with grief. She's been bedridden ever since. I had hoped the sight of her long-lost daughter might rekindle some vital spark within my mistress. 'Twould seem it was not to be. In the end, my good intention, I suppose 'twas no less than my due.
I fear this trial is too much.
Suppose you're all right.
Sir Arisen, pray see to it that naught akin...
I fear this trial is too much for one such as me.
Might I beg but a moment of your time?